during these trips that she learned the intricacies of duplicating processes within a service-based business while also maintaining consistencies within each center, a skill that would serve her well. An avid spa lover, she believed she could use the same philosophy as a cornerstone for a successful business model in the disorganized and fragmented spa industry. Dr. Derek Garrett was born in Victoria, Texas, and graduated from Victoria High School. He attended the University of Texas on a track scholarship. And after receiving his undergraduate degree in biology, he attended UTMB in Galveston, where he earned his medical degree and then trained in anesthesiology in Houston. In 1999, he returned home to practice medicine shortly thereafter and met Jenny Bishop Garrett. Dr. Garrett is the Vice President of Franchise Development and Sales. He is passionate about working with individuals who are interested in owning a Woodhouse Day Spa and leading them through the multifaceted franchise awarding process. The concept for the Woodhouse Day Spa was born, and the Woodhouse flagship was opened in September of 2001. The couple was married in January of 2002, and about a year later began franchising the Woodhouse model. They have two wonderful sons, Eli, 6, and Ethan, 5. Their company has 41 spas operating currently and has more than 300 additional spas under contract for development within the next 5 to 10 years. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please help me welcome our keynote speakers this evening, Dr. Garrett and Jenny Garrett.
There are so many things to love about the Woodhouse. I love the philosophy, the holistic and organic philosophy.
I love the Woodhouse because it's allowed me an opportunity to experience my dream.
Well, I like the Woodhouse because it is the first of its kind. That's a resort experience in your backyard.
They're just a wonderful group of individuals, and they're extremely ethical, and they do business the way that I want to do business.
We dream of a time where businesses look to Woodhouse as the leader, as a place and a time where our family, our franchise family, we look at changed lives rather than guest transactions. We dream of a time that relationships are more important than retention. We dream of a time where we will be that household iconic brand. And to get there, we don't only dream big, we plan wisely, we act swiftly, and we believe boldly. And most importantly, we do what we love.
Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all so much. A little feedback there. You might have to step over. Might have to pick this off. Let's see what we got going. Okay. We're so honored to be here tonight. You know, first of all, we want to thank the Chamber, Randy. We want to thank Christine. We are so excited to speak, and that was such an honor for you guys to ask us. Before we begin, we want to certainly give credit where credit is due. And so we have sitting in front of us here members of our family, and we want to, first of all, thank them. We are so blessed to have the kind of family who has supported us, who are optimistic, and they have really jumped in head first to be a part of our purpose. And so we'd like to recognize them now. Beth, my sister, my best friend, my chief operating officer. She's the executor. She gets things done, and I believe that execution is 75% of the equation. So she deserves as much credit for the success of the Woodhouse brand as anyone. So thank you, Ben.
And also we have Jenny's parents, Wanda and John Bishop are here. Wanda does all of our spa design. Whenever a franchise partner comes in and gets a shell of a space, Wanda does all the design that you see around the country in building out those spaces into beautiful spas, and she does it with the humility that we could all emulate. John, my father-in-law, is a retired DuPonter for 40 years. And he retired about 3 days, and Jenny called him and said, we need some help at the spa, at the court. And so he jumped right in, and he's our CFO, the chief figure outer. He watches, he hawks the money and makes sure that everybody gets paid and that we don't overspend, and he does a fabulous job. And so it truly is a family effort.
I like to say it takes a village to build a business, especially when you have two little ones 16 months apart, or Eli and Ethan. And so I want to thank my mother-in-law, Cheryl, and her husband, Mike. They've always really just pitched in wherever we need it, and so they're a huge part of it. Most importantly, we need to give credit to God. He's always been there for us, and all of the credit and glory goes to Him. We are a faith-based company. We pray together. Our franchise partners know that up front. It's why we exist, and it's to make God smile. So we let everyone know that up front. Yeah, in preparing for our talk, we talked about a lot of different topics that that would be valid for business owners and entrepreneurs, you all. And, Derek recently spoke at the chamber event in the fall, and he talked about faith, focus, family, and fun. Then we talked about, we could, focus on purpose and planning and prayer and people. And then we said, no, let's look at culture and clarity and Christ-centered leadership and character. And then I worked out one that I thought may be appropriate for you all as chamber members. I really worked to put something together that, would be memorable and inspiring. Something like results, ambition, networking, determination, and why, the greatest question. And an acronym for Randy, your fearless leader.
But we threw that out quickly.
Because unless you string together a bunch of F words like my husband did last fall, which could be appropriate for franchising, it might not be memorable. So we want to make it memorable. We want to make it fun. We want to make it inspiring. And most importantly, we want you guys to take something back that you can take action on. But really, when you add up all of those great topics, faith, family, focus, fun, purpose, planning, prayer, people, culture, community, character, and Christ, when you add all of that up, and then when you distill the essence of who the Woodhouse really is, there's one word, and that's love. And so that's what we'll talk about. Nearly 15 years ago, we set out to create a different business model. A model that was based on core values, and one that specifically was designed to achieve the fragile balance between profitability and making a difference in the lives of everyone involved. Our franchise partners, our team members, guests, our vendor partners, everyone. There's thousands of guests that come through our spas every day. We're a national brand, but at our core, it's about one spa, one team, and one extraordinary guest experience. And the ability for our team to surprise and delight that guest every single time. And if we do that thousands of times a day, we will be a brand that people remember. A brand with a soul and a spirit. A brand that's unstoppable, unforgettable. Business can be too complicated. But at its core, it's not. It's simple. It's a relationship. And that's what we at the Woodhouse and you all in this room do best. So we're going to share a story tonight about how the two of us and our amazing team are building a world-class household brand right here in Victoria the best place in the world to build a business, in my opinion.
Thanks. So when we were discussing what we were going to talk about, Jenny said we were telling the story. And so like I said, I could just stand up here and be your arm candy. And she said, you don't have enough hair, you're too fat. Arm candy. So she's going to make me talk. And so I'm a little better storyteller. And you guys may have heard this before, but it changes every time I say it. So you never know what's the story. But anyway, we kind of have an interesting story. I guess it's kind of funny. I had come back to Victoria to practice, and I was rocking and rolling, and I bumped into this little curly-haired girl from Yoakum, Texas. And after about 3 months of her begging me to go out with her, I succumbed to the unrelenting pressure and decided that I would go out with this young lady who was pursuing me so diligently. And so we were dating, and we had no kids, and so we take weekend trips. And we were going to Houston one Friday afternoon, and she had visited a little, I guess she would call it a spa. This lady, I think she's a hairdresser in, she was in Houston?
There's great spas.
Okay. My story's a little different. So it was a tiny little place, and she liked that one treatment room, and I think she kind of ran the show herself. And so her and one of my best friend's wives had gone, and she came back, she goes, that was really cool. She said, you know, this day spa concept is cool. And I said, well, what's a day spa? And she said, well, it's a place you go relax, they have massages and facials, and you kind of go hang out. It's a safe place just to kind of go, you know, unwind. And she said, I think a day spa would work in Victoria. And so I think, okay, as I'm driving down the road, you know, and ignoring sort of half what she's saying, and you know, Jeff and I could get in the car and drive to Houston. Yeah. And so, you know, thinking she would forget the whole thing. Well, by project, she already had a business plan, a performa, and an application for a loan filled out for the bank. And so the problem, the conversation didn't go away. And so we come back from our trip, and our next door neighbors are outside running in the yard with the kids, and we used to go over and sit on the front porch and visit. And we started talking about old houses, and they said, oh yeah, there's a house over there in the corner of Wheeler and North Street. It's an old, it was a lawyer office. It looked like the world's largest taco cabana. It was hot pink and teal. And so we were like, cool. So it was getting dark, so we decided to walk over, and we peeked in the windows, and it's all torn up. And so we bought it 2 days later. And so we start scraping paint and borrowing money, and we'd go back to the bank, get more money, because we didn't know what we were doing. And so 29 weeks later, the first Woodhouse Day Spa opens. And the Insta crowd that Randy talked about, sure enough, we're inside our business, and everything's 5 o'clock. We got our big grand opening, and we're putting all the bells and whistles and shining and polishing and dusting. And all of a sudden we look outside, there's this group of people. Y'all are early. And it's the chamber. And yeah, they're the ribbon cutters, and they're all there, and we all woohoo, and y'all get away with that work. But no, it truly is very, very comforting as a new prospective business owner who's nervous and apprehensive about starting a new business, to have someone come along and pat you on the back and say, we're here with you, we're supporting you, we've been in your shoes, and good job, and just give you an attaboy. So that really, I give it up for the chamber for that, and it was really inspiring for us. And so, right after 9/11 is when we opened, and we, you know, started taking care of this. And we were operating about a year or so, and Jenny said, I want a franchise. And I'm like, well, what's a franchise? And I knew what a franchise was, but my question was like, so what does that really mean? And she said, well, we're going to package up this concept that we have, so I think I'm onto something, and I want to distribute our brand, but we don't really have enough capital to have company-owned stores, so let's franchise, and we're going to, several gentlemen in this room wouldn't want us any more money. And so she said, we're going to sell this concept to people, and they're going to pay us royalties, and we're going to expand our brand. And her being one step ahead of me the whole way, I said, great, how do we do that? She said, well, there's a franchise acquisition in DC next month, and if we send them the money, we can get a booth. So I'm like, great. She goes, it's $10,000. $10,000 for a 10 by 10 foot booth is $10,000. Okay. And so off we go. We sign up for the exposition. Her and my dad loaded the Suburban.
Let me pull this little segment. Because it's your father, and
Yeah, this is good.
we get to talk about each other's parents. So yeah, it's 3 weeks now away from the IFE. It's the International Franchise Expo, and it's 20,000 people show up. If you're going to be a franchise, you're there. And you know, everyone from McDonald's to Chick-fil-A to the Woodhouse Day Spa is there. The spa, not
With
spa.
0 franchise.
And so,
One 2,400 square foot house on the corner of Wheeler and North Street in Victoria, Texas, next to McDonald's.
you got to do what you love, right? So it was too late to ship our booth and our materials. And so
We on eBay and bought one of those pop-up walls, you know, that you do like this and imagine it springs open and you hang the little lights off. So we bought one of those. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so we have the Suburban, and Lamar and I, Derek's father, drive this trip, and it's a 27-hour trip to DC, and it's not that. It's the fact that I have one pet peeve, but I'm pretty flexible, easy, laid back. But for those in the room who know me, I just have one pet peeve in my life, and that is gun snacking. And Derek's father is the world champion gun snacker. And so the whole way there, we listened to Rush Limbaugh and Lamar's gun snacking. And not only did he gun snack, but he would take his gun out, put it on the dash, bring it back, and do that 1 hour. The whole way. So I have something for Woodhouse.
So we pull up to this convention center in Virginia and DC, and these guys come up and say, we're going to carry your boxes in. We said, no, we're going to carry our boxes in. For what we're using here, you have to hire us to carry the boxes. And Jenny said, well, I don't have any money. They said, well, you can mail us a check. She said, all right, unload the boxes.
No, I think they finally just said no.
They will.
Just shook their head.
And so we get there and we set up our booth and we have no floor. So these carpet guys come around and said, for $2,500, we'll sell you 100 square feet of carpet. No, goes to Lowe's and he buys up this parquet floor 1 foot by 1 foot and sticks it down with double stick. We have the coolest hardwood floors in the whole expo compared to everybody else's shag carpet. And so Jane's out there doing her thing and she's standing there representing the Woodhouse, and we've made all of our brochures in-house. These are just off a laser printer. We're doing the best we can. And she calls me and said, I think I sold the franchise. And I'm like, great, now what do we do? And I said, what do we do next? She goes, well, we'll talk about that when we get home. And so this
He
was
happened to
actually,
be an attorney, by the way.
yeah, he's an attorney, and we didn't have a UFOC. It's the big franchise document. It used to be called UFOC.
We
Now
had
it's
one,
called-
I just wrote it.
Yeah, Jenny. Esquire Jenny had written it.
But-
And so we met an amazing couple, Bob and Rita Elias, who are still our dear friends today and our first franchisees up in Pennsylvania. And they believed in my wife. And she said, you know, we have no franchises. This is the first one we're doing. And they said, we believe in you. And they came down and sat at our dining room table and for training. And of course, we're telling them just what we do at the Woodhouse. And they have owned other franchises before. They were in Party City and Candleman and some other things. And we just really hit it off with them. And they said, we would like to offer you guys to buy part of your company. Would you need some money? And yeah, we could use some money. And so because this UFOC costs about $50,000 for legal fees, and we're cash rolling this whole thing. It's just, you know, rolling pennies to get the bills paid. And so these angels came along and believed in my 21-year-old wife and believed in her passion and her dream, which was one single building in Victoria, Texas. And so
A lot of hard.
yeah, something magical happened. The next year, we awarded 11 franchises somehow. I don't think we advertised that much. We opened 9 locations in the next year. It was crazy. I looked at her and all these openings were coming up. I'm like, how are you going to do this? She said, I don't know. And I think through faith alone and hard work and our family pulling together, we had all hands on deck. I mean, everybody with a pulse, we grabbed and said, you're going here, you're going there, we got to go set this spot. And it was truly working around the clock, 24 hours a day sometimes before the guests showed up to get the spas the way, you know, they needed to be. And so.
So with that, that's not the way to do it, but that's how we did it. So, just want to put that disclaimer out there. So, but you know, I still love to hear that story because that's how we started, you know, and we were blessed to have those angel investors come along and give us the capital to get going, and it's just all of that faith. And so that was the beginning, and that was, a decade ago. And so now, 10 years later, here we are. And we spent that decade focused. We spent that decade building the foundation, building the systems and support for 250 locations. We chose a very disciplined growth strategy and one that we felt would set us up for the long term. We had a very strong sense of responsibility, given the fact that these franchise partners were investing their life savings into our business. And so, we made sure that they had things like an online village with every tool that they needed to run their business. It was our home office and their office. We created a learning management system, and we partnered with the same company that had created the FAA's learning management system after 9/11. This had this is where we house all of our training videos with guests from the treatment protocols to our point of sale training to the retail training, our world-class guest service training. We have over 85 videos there, and not just videos, these are interactive quizzes so that we know that they're actually learning the content. We actually created what was called tools for profitability, so we make sure that everyone knew exactly how much it cost to provide an agave nectar pedicure down to the cotton ball, and that cost accounting came in pretty handy. From day one, we also made sure that our services were results oriented. They had to work. If they were affordable, we made sure that our costs stayed down and that we sourced the best product in the world. They had to be intelligently clean. This practice has really served us well. Our product cost is 2.8%, industry average is 8%. And so, and the other thing is that we have to make sure our services are affordable. This is a critical point, and that's our distinguishing factor. The Woodhouse is an affordable luxury. We also require that all of our Woodhouse vendors visit Victoria, visit our home office every year in spring. And so that included about 85 vendors from around the country, from around the world actually, coming here for a course of 4 months. Everyone from Sherwin-Williams to L'Oreal comes here to Victoria. This practice makes for stronger partners and also adds trust to our franchise system. In 2005, during this building and foundation period, I met with a friend of mine from Starbucks, and he was the director of marketing. And my challenge was to deliver the marketing programs to our spas on the ground in a way to ensure that they were executed. Starbucks had that same problem. The difference was that they had general managers on the ground executing. At least we had owners on the ground that had some skin in the game. And so we worked out, we created an annual plan, the same one that they use. We modified it for franchising, and we still use that today. And we still deliver these 8 kits a year, except now they're electronic. Each of these promotional kits have about 85 different deliverables or collaterals, everything from radio ads to Facebook postings to signage, all these different pieces for each marketing campaign that our franchise partners can use to make sure that every marketing promotion is executed and effective and results oriented. Comp sales are growing at an annual rate of 24%, so we know that something's working. The great thing is, with all of this marketing, all of this is delivered electronically. It lives on our marketing website, and all of this was created by Paul Delt. He's our VP of Marketing. He's created one of the most brilliant methods of delivering effective marketing campaigns and franchising. We've taken this stuff to the International Franchise Association now and shown it, and it's we're just so blessed to have him on our team. He's a hometown boy as well, and so all of these things. So and communication is critical to a franchise as well. So not only during this time where we're setting all of that up, and we have now a Facebook group, we communicate with the franchisees, but we also have over 75 webinars a year in which we do trainings, everything from tax planning to retailing, all of those things. All of these systems were critical during this period. Even though at that time we only had 10 to 15 spas, we always had to begin with the end in mind. We knew that there were other concepts that were similar in our age who were out there focused on growing rather than building their systems. And they chose to outsource their development, and they were adding new locations every day. And we kept our head down, and we kept that disciplined growth strategy. We believe that by investing our time and money into support, it would pay off. And here we are today. We've now been awarded the Franchise Business Review's Top Support Award for 8 years in a row. And those concepts that were focused on growing are going backwards now. No culture, no foundation. It's just like a house built on sand. During that time, in 2005, we sat down as a team on the 5th floor of the O'Connor building and said, what is it that these guests are talking about? What is that experience that's making such a difference in their lives? What are they writing about? So we spent the next 3 to 4 hours writing about everything from the time that the guest makes their initial reservation all the way through to the handwritten thank you note. And all of these initial touch points, and we ended up with 99 items. And then the elements, the 99 elements of the Woodhouse experience were born. An experience, which is what we sell, an experience is a very intangible thing. And so by recognizing each of these touch points, we were able to train each team member at each spa across the nation, so that if a guest went to Victoria or Austin or California, they would be experiencing the same service, the same experience. And it's all in those small things that our guests love and that they remember. And because of this, in every market that a Woodhouse exists, we won Best Spa. And in Denver and Orlando, we beat Ritz-Carlton every year. So it's all of those details. They matter. It's critical when you're building. And I don't want to make it sound easy, because obviously it wasn't. It's not. And so we've had our challenges, of course. Whether it was Dr. Torrey, our Director of Education, driving into a river, in a hurricane in Florida. She made it out okay with our manuals. But, or, pulling on the Irish, putting furniture together as 500 guests show up to a spa, all of those things. There's certainly systems and processes that we've learned and we've worked out. But my biggest lesson as a leader in all of this has been learning to listen. And this was our turning point for our company in 2012, when I made 3 phone calls to our top 3 franchise partners after a year of contention and said, look, I'm wrong. You're right. We're going to add your product line. That was a game changer. That was a game changer for our business, and that was a game changer for me as a leader. Whether it's listening to your team, to your board, more importantly to your customers, once we can get past ourselves and listen, it's going to change everything in your business. And so now here we are again, just the beginning. Our franchise family, amazing culture. We're together as a family. We're transforming lives. We have one voice and one vision. We have the greatest group of franchise partners in the world. We have the greatest group of home team members in the world. An unbelievable group of 30 individuals at our home office. We just recruited some more Yankees to Victoria. And our new CFO is from Russia, so we know that Victoria is a great place to do business. And we always focus on one word. What's the word of the year? The team and I come up with the one word of the year, and it helps to really clarify that focus of the year. And so this year, our word is limitless. There's nothing holding us back. Derek took an amazing leap of faith in 2013, coming on board. He left his full-time job, leaving as an anesthesiologist. He'd been doing that for a long time, over a decade, and had a great practice. And so, because of that, because he was willing to make that leap of faith, our franchise sales grew 647% last year. Yeah. It makes a difference when a co-founder gets a franchise prospect on the phone in 5 minutes. It makes a difference. And let me say, franchise awarding, we call it awarding. We don't sell franchises, we award them. It's selective for us. But selling a franchise that's worth $600,000 to $700,000 to an individual when you can't tell them how much money they're going to make, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. And so it takes a little bit of heart, a little bit of passion, and some incredible validation from our franchisees, because
like breaking down, getting close to God.
I'm Avery and I come here to get away from drama, and it's kind of like my safe spot. I feel like safe.
I love to come here because there's a lot of great people that are here and they help you, and I just love it.
I know it's changed me since I've been coming here, so I've just enjoyed it quite a bit. The way people like used to talk about me, I can tell that now when they talk about me, it's something that I can actually smile about.
We went to one retreat and we started talking to the children, and they started telling us their life stories, and we started telling ours, and in that way it started helping them and see out their real eyes.
And we figured, like, from the stuff that we've been through back then, and having one retreat like help us like overcome that and help us be better leaders and lead the kids down the right path.
This is the first place where I felt God, or I felt His presence, and I felt that He was real.
At Woolwich, our mission is simple. We want our students on one weekend to make one decision about one man that could change their life forever.
So back in 2010, there was a series of articles that came out in the paper, and right here in Victoria, Texas, we have a pregnancy rate that is twice the national average. 78 girls per 1,000 get pregnant in Victoria County. The national average is about 33 girls per 1,000 per year get pregnant. 40% of our incoming freshmen are not graduating from high school. To me, that is unacceptable. I think the schools are doing all they can. And the juvenile system is doing all they can, but I told Jenny, I said, we got to do something, and I don't know what, but let's try. And we realized very quickly it had to be a faith-based approach. The reason for teenage pregnancy and dropout is apathy. The kids don't care. They don't care about dropping out. They have low self-esteem. They don't have parents at home to teach them, to nurture them, to tell them, to love on them. And so we sat down one night and put a pen to paper and said, here's what we're going to do. So we started recruiting kids. Most of them come from the Mitchell campus, which is a step-down campus before you get booted out of high school. Or junior high, you go to Mitchell, it's the last campus. And so we go there, we have ice cream socials, and we sign these kids up. We bribe them with nice goodies and gifts and food to get them to come along. They show up on Friday night, they're very withdrawn, they're very quiet, they don't make eye contact. They don't want anything to do with us. They're basically there for the backpack and the goodies. And very quickly, we see a transformation in these young people where leaving, they are hugs and smiles and tears. And it's an unbelievable transformation to see these kids who have never had somebody put their arm around them and just say, you know, you're okay. It's okay. We've all made bad mistakes. We've all had problems. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you the horrible situations a lot of these kids live in. They don't have a chance. And it's easy for us to look at underprivileged people and say, we just make better choices. They know no other choices other than what the street teaches them. And so all we do is we love on them. We have a lot of fun. We have games. We do crazy stuff. And we just say, look, you don't have to bear the burdens of all these problems. You didn't ask for this, but you don't have to continue living this way. You don't have to continue to make the bad choices of generational sin that you've had taught to you over and over and over. Not that your parents are bad, but we just feel like there's other ways to do this. And so we've had 350, 400 kids now come through. We have beat-up school buses. We drive around town, pick them up twice a week for a small group on Thursday nights and then on church on Sundays. If your heart's pulling you to maybe get involved, we always need volunteers. We need money. We fund this 99%. We have a big vision. We want to build a big dream center for the kids to come and have a place after school to come and get tutoring and get mentoring and stay off the street. It can happen. It can happen. We just need to get people to help us. These kids are real kids. They're not actors. They're up there speaking from their heart voluntarily. And so, we've got a huge problem, and we feel like that if we can get one kid to make a step on one weekend, then it's all worth our time. Because these are lives of young people that matter. They matter in our community. And, you know, they're on the other side of the tracks and it's easy to turn our backs on them. But when you can really get past the facade that they maintain, there is a person inside there. And so I could talk about this for hours, so Randy, I'm going to be quiet.
So that's the why for us behind Woodhouse. That's what drives us, that's our passion, that's our heart. That's what keeps us going. Not only are we transforming the lives of our franchise partners, our guests, our team members, but it's these kids and everything funnels down. And so like Derek said, we've had 300 young men and women who have placed their faith in Christ and been baptized through one retreat. We continue to host 2 retreats a year and have small group on Thursday nights, and we're meeting as we speak. And so, you know, I'll leave you just with a few words from our hearts. You know, we believe that when you distill the essence, like I said, of Woodhouse, of one retreat, and the passion of drive and what you have within your companies, there's that one word, and that's love. I believe that when you can get to a place where you are driven by love rather than by fear, that's the real game changer in your life. You know, we all have that opportunity tonight to dream big, to plan wisely, to act swiftly, and to believe boldly. And some of my favorite words that have guided us and our team: never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Your team of thoughtful, committed people. Indeed, we are. One customer at a time, one team at a time, right here in Victoria and throughout this country. This is our opportunity. This is what it takes. Small groups of people with their hearts on fire for each other, for people. We will build a household brand, and you will build amazing businesses and companies. But more importantly, we will change lives. And in return, our lives will be changed. It starts here. It starts now, together with one heart and one vision. Thank you all.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Have a little token of our appreciation for you.
Did it get hard to the Woodhouse?
Yeah. But I will let you know. We appreciate it.